Welcome to the Everyday Mom Challenge. Today I want to talk about ways that you can organize your research by using Google Drive. Everybody has a system, and I understand that we all like to do things differently. When I was in residency, I had people at my table that had never used Google Drive before, so they weren't aware of actually how to put the folders together. I also saw someone pull out these gigantic notebooks where they had tons of articles and printed copies of every single thing under the sun. And as I looked at that and marveled over it impressively, I also said at the same time, my pocketbook and the ink cartridges cannot handle that kind of stress. So I found an economical way to organize all of my materials, and I wanted to share it with you. And I'm sure that you could add some tips down at the bottom that can help some other viewers as well. But first, I went to my drive that it's in my email and in my Google. And so I call it my little rubrics cube here. So you go to your drive, and when you do, you can open up new and you can open up your folders. So I built me a folder, GCU Dissertation. And now that I'm in here, let's say I want to build a new folder. And I want to say journal article submissions or whatever. I'm just showing you. And let's say this is something that's coming up for me. So I want to change the color on this one. And color. And let's say I want to share this folder. When you hit share, that's where you can share it with other people. You can also give them editing rights, or if you just want them to be able to view it. So if you have a friend who is battling out their dissertation work with you at the same time, and you guys are hitting articles together, especially if you're both working on quantitative work, building quantitative folders together and things like that could really be a great help of research materials. So I just kind of want to show you how I did single mothers because that was my topic. You see gaps here, like this one to me is the single most important folder that you can have, because without your gap articles, you're not going to have research that's going to be supported. And you can see I'm a little corny. I'm like, awesome, 2017. Wow, another one. I found another one. See, I have to get excited about this kind of stuff. If we don't, who will, right? Now, in my single mothers, I also have research articles. Oh, wow. Look at all of this. Now I want to talk to you about what was happening here. So I have a theory, well-being theory, and it's important that I keep my well-being theory, my self-determination theory, and my social capital theory all separated. Because if I don't, I'm going to have so much research, I'm never going to be able to find it again when I reread everything. So when you're either on Google Scholar or if you're on your library, database, whatever that you're using to pull your articles, ProQuest, when you are pulling them down and you're turning them into PDFs, it's best to go ahead and start putting them into folders. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is what happened to me. See all this stuff down here? They never made it to a folder because I guess that's the part where I maybe was just so tired that I didn't do it. But let's go to well-being theory. Okay. So here are articles that just support the well-being theory. And again, wow, another one. Oh, these are robust links. Now, what I meant by that was at the end of this article, the article might not have been really something that I could have maybe necessarily used, but I could mine from the links. So when you scroll, look at all of the research that could possibly help me when finding additional research. So this is very important. But now for our university, this one right here wouldn't have helped me any. You got to go through them, and this one wouldn't have helped me any because we want our work to be within the last 5 years, unless we're working with historical backgrounds of the topic. But I did have some through here that I found that I could definitely use. Even though a lot of them were 2013, 2014, they still fit the parameters. So I would say that's why I named it that, so that way it would remind me. So if I come back to research, do you see this not really related? Kind of. This is when I found something and I was like, well, maybe I could use it one day, maybe not. So I kind of threw it in here. The reason why I had attendance is because, of course, mine was on attendance and it was on participation. So I kind of threw in different ones there to go with one of my variables. Oh, let me go back to research articles. I'm sorry. So this let me know that these were articles that I could really use in my work. So if we look at religious development, not a lot there. Youth is not really it's not an area that I really focused on. However, I understood that if I'm going to be working with single moms, I could build one of my themes in my literature review around youth development and parental transmission of religious activity. So I did build this folder and use it in my chapter 2. Social support networks. This one definitely was a theme that I used. So as you can see what I did. Now, why did I date these? I dated this one because I needed to redo some work. And so these were 2 more that I added. I needed to go find something else to support when we were doing edits. And if you look back here, this one, the new articles, I could also just pick this up and drag it over here so it can kind of, shouldn't have been kind of out there, but did make me a folder. So you see how I have dates here? I also have dates here. After another edit, there were areas that I was lacking, so I had to come back in and do additional research. And as you can see, this is additional work that I did. And when I found these studies, this allowed me to say, okay, I know that these research articles were not from my initial dissertation submission, but when I was going through prior to AQR. Like I didn't use attachment theory, but I have it here, but I didn't use that. And I'm just going to kind of click through and kind of show you some issues with well-being. My PERMA section, because that was my model. So I made sure that I found areas, even though PERMA had not ever been studied with religious well-being, that I found there were parts of the PERMA model, the positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment, that I found articles for that could really help support that. You can see again more new articles added for my proposal. The historical background, so there's going to be outdated articles, but that's fine because I needed to show that. And I think I pretty much showed you everything, like how I built them. The only issue that I had is, as you can see down here, I could have been a little bit better at throwing those in. So that's my fault. I'm about to run out of time on this video, but I hope that this gives you an idea on at least how to get your research together. Then again, don't forget to keep up with results, templates, the sites, especially chapters. Chapters